Kalimera, kalispera, kalinichta, no matter where in this wacky, wild, and sometimes wonderful world you might be. Thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. It's a new season. It's a blank canvas. Are you ready to tell some Arsenal stories? Game 1 under the belt, and we got 3 points. Let's rock and roll.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Some of you may have got the alert, some not. It's the first game of the season. Here we are. Super Kev, my podcast brother from another mother in the house. Welcome back, Super Kev.
Squaddies at ease. Let's do this. Let's get it done. First game and a win. 3 points is what matters. At ease.
Okay, so Super Kev, you were working the game as well for TV, and I want to start the very, very beginning. By the way, very exciting with the season being back. Order was resumed yesterday, of course, with Manchester City getting 3 points. So very, very important for the Gunners to get off to a winning start at home against what is going to look like maybe a long season for Nottingham Forest, but we'll get to that. Super Kev, a curveball from Arteta. It wasn't a super meltdown on the Twitter sphere because there's 37 of these to go yet. What was your take on the team sheet when you saw it and when it came out?
I got no problem with it. So I think we discussed it previously. After Havertz starting against Man City, we did say Nketiah probably could start against. It wouldn't surprise me if he started against Nottingham Forest, and he did. And obviously Gabriel didn't start. There was that flexibility of the squad. Arteta's utilizing it. That's what he's doing. And I mean, let's be honest. We were comfortable today until the last knock-ins. So it worked. So, all those naysayers before the game, they can't say nothing because we got the W. So, but I was fine with the team. I've got no problem. I trust the manager now. Whatever happens.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you completely. And also, it's the first game. So I was like, okay, first game. Here is his first team. I don't think there's any argument in terms of how we played. I mean, was Thomas Partey even playing at right back in the first half, Kev? It didn't really look like
centre mid, wasn't he? It was at times he was right back. Then he was centre mid. He was. I thought he played really well today, Thomas Partey, to be honest. But again,
Yeah.
at 2-0, we're cruising, so aren't we? But you know
So
what? We're going to get onto the goal. But I'm telling you,
yes.
we've got to. We win that game 2-0. Much better. We've got to defend better. It's
So Kev,
basics.
So let's talk about that a little bit, seeing as you're on the subject, because it really is the weak point in the game. I don't think Arsenal fans can have too many arguments with the performance today, not from me anyway. But there were 2 moments in the game that I felt kind of shifted gears a little bit. And I want you to kind of give me that beyond the white lines eye. Would you say, is it fair that maybe we lost a little bit of discipline when Urian Timber went off? Now, I'm not ragging on Tommy. And of course, things switched when he went off. Arteta switched things a little bit. But this player, Kev, already making a major mark, goes down without being touched. Maybe it was the knock-on effect from the previous
That's what
knock.
we're hoping. We're hoping it is.
Should he been taken off 6 one, half a dozen of the other? However, it did change a little bit, didn't you feel like you lost that security blanket just a little bit when he went off?
I'm not going to do Tommy like that, Soph. I'll tell you why I'm not going to do Tommy like that. I don't think we were in any trouble. Because don't forget, look when Jurian Timber went off to when virtually they started coming into the game. They come into the game virtually late on. So we weren't really at any problem, Soph. The issue is our concentration, I believe. I believe it's our concentration. They bring subs on. They've got to go for it now because they've got nothing to lose. They've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. But the goal is basics. Fair enough. You know, they get down the wing, but on the cross coming in, Ben White's got to do a lot better than that. He has to do a lot better than that. So, and I'm not digging him out because I thought he'd done fine today. But that one moment changes everything.
Yeah.
Stay in front of the man.
Saliba in the middle of the park too was a little cheap with the ball, wasn't he? Before it went out to the flank.
So whatever you want to say, look where Awoniyi scores. He gets in front of Ben White. There's no way he should be in front of Ben White. No way.
Mm-hmm.
Ben White doesn't check his shoulder, know where he is. So Elanga's going. He doesn't know where he is. Next minute, Awoniyi comes in front of him. It's in the back of our net. That should not happen, especially when you got Saliba that side.
Yeah, I completely agree. And let's be fair to Forest, Kev.
I'm just saying.
No, I know. Yeah.
This problem last season, giving cheap goals away at home, it's got to stop.
Right. And to be fair to Forest, it was in terms of a counter-attack and a breakaway, it was beautifully executed by them. Cheap defending by us, terrible defending. However, they still had to see the ball through, and they did that. And it was a really good finish. Ramsdale, I don't think really had much of a chance, Super Kev, to save that. And it was looking like he was heading for a clean sheet, which, by the way, I thought in the first half he had a steady game, did what he needed to do. Could have made a cup of tea, had some scones. A couple people went at him on the corner where he came out and missed it. If you look at the replay, he's literally being dragged down by the Forest player with his shirt as well.
Fouled. He's held.
So,
he's held.
Yeah. He was being.
I tell you what, as well, Sophie. I tell you what, he's not going to get credit for. You know when Brennan Johnson went through?
Yes, 100%.
First 10 minutes, Ramsdale was off his line so quickly, it rushed Brennan Johnson's decision. That's why he put it wide. Because the keeper was on him. All of a sudden, he had to do it quicker than he would have liked. That was really good goalkeeping. Again, Ramsdale was fine. The team was fine today. So, if I'm honest with you, but we're trying to be not perfectionists, but we're trying to cut out the cheap stuff.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do.
The first thing I thought of, Super Kev, as well was how, we're cruising. We're literally cruising and dominating. And it's such a professional performance at this point because you could tell it's one of those games where Forest have no chance unless we make a mistake. It's one of those. And again, I felt my first thing I always be closing. That concentration, like you said, Kev, that mental switch off. You do it for 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 second, you're done and you're toast. You've got to think that that's something Arteta is going to continually drill into this side in terms of closing out games. It has been our Achilles heel, not just last season and the season before, but a cultural thing at Arsenal in terms of staying engaged, staying in the moment and finishing teams off. Is it a sense of we sat back too much, Kev, or it's just literally exactly what we're talking about, mental engagement?
Yeah, we didn't sit back too much because at the end of the day, Forest, they just wanted to keep themselves in the game as best they can and hope they got a break and they could make a game of it. Because look what happened at the end. So it gets uncomfortable for us. And then with the extra time, it becomes a little bit uncomfortable. When we were cruising, we didn't have any problems. But that switch off is what we're talking about. So again, it only takes a second to score a goal, and they took their chance. Fair play to them. They took their chance. They tested us, and it was a cheap goal to give away from our point of view. Good goal for them, and it made life a little bit uncomfortable. But do you know what, Sophie? We take the W. I think I said it a couple of Mondays ago. I'm fine for us to start a little bit. As long as we win, I'm fine for us to start a little bit shaky and not too perfect. because you know what? I want us to get better as the season goes along.
Yes.
I want all the connections and the flexibility to come. I just hope, like you said earlier on, during Timber isn't bad. I hope it's just, you know, a little bit from that knock he suffered in the first half, because that guy is a star.
He's a
He's a
super. I
star.
think he's a superstar, and he's a star, but he's a superstar in the making. I mean, what a player this guy is! I mean, he's just you feel it, you just see it. Even in preseason, you just see him in the way he touches the ball, the way he moves, the way he carries himself, the confidence that he has. He looks like he's been playing for Arsenal already for like 15 years. It's just
True.
just one of those signings that just makes absolute sense. Kev, before we move on real quick to talk about the goal and some of our players, 15 shots for us, 6 for them, 7 on target, 2 for them, 79% possession, 21 for Forest. It would have
Mm.
been a crime had they got an equaliser. Lessons learned,
Yeah.
Arsenal Football Club. Lessons learned here.
Yeah.
90% pass accuracy, Kev, for us. 763 passes. They had 196 passes with 68% accuracy. We both committed 12 fouls each. We got a little chippy because I think they were chippy and we kind of started
Oh yeah.
snapping. A couple
Oh
of good
yeah.
fouls though, Kev, in terms of the Saliba foul for the breakaway, I thought was a good foul. And 2 yellows, 2 offsides, and 8 corners for us and 3 for them. Want to get to you real quick because this is the hot button subject, of course, with our listeners as well. How do you feel at home debut? Our new signings, Kev. Let's start off here before we get to some of the younger players who you and I were WhatsApping about during the match.
Hmm. I thought it was a decent start. Like I said, so we had no problems. I thought Rice in the middle of the pitch dovetailed perfectly with a Partey who moved in there from right back, inverted. Timber is a star. He's a star. Just sad to see him go off. I thought Havertz's game was good. I thought Havertz worked really hard, changed positions a couple of times, and ended up at centre forward. Grafted hard, and but you know, I thought the best of the lot today, for obviously the full game. For half a game, I'd say Timber. For the full game, I'd say obviously Rice. And
Mhm.
I thought Havertz had a decent game. Wasn't nothing spectacular, so but he's a clever player. He pops up in these nice little pockets, I tell you. And again, as the further we go along and the more we play, the better it's going to become. But
Uh,
I thought they'd done
Kev,
pretty well today.
I thought Havertz and Martinelli on the interchange in the first half was very effective. I think second half, everyone took their foot off the gas. I don't think any player, I think Martinelli was the one that really just continually improved throughout the game. But I thought Havertz, we spoke about this a little bit, and there is a couple of meltdowns in the chat box. Guys, just chill out and relax a little bit here. This is exactly the type of thing Kevin and I were talking about in terms of try and watch a little bit what he does off the ball versus on the ball, the spaces he creates, the plays that he takes with him. He does create danger. I know you guys want him to be this goal machine, but Kev, he's a very important missing link in terms of the fluidity for this Mikel Arteta version of Arsenal, don't you think?
Yep. Ball domination, getting the ball in the pockets where defenders can't get him and helping us retain the ball. I think that's so important. So, ball retention, because let's be honest, if we'd have won that game 2-0 and our possession was 80%,
Mm-hmm.
nobody would say anything. All of a
Yeah.
sudden it's 2-1 and people are going to start moaning. No, we dominated this game from virtually start to finish. One mistake made it a little bit hairy at the end, but don't let that cloud your judgment on things. You know,
Okay,
don't
Super
let that
Kev.
do it.
My striker extraordinaire, my icon here, the man who's worn the badge. There's a ton of these. And also Andy Townsend, I think it was Andy Townsend with John Champion for our commentary. I can't remember. Anyway, it was Andy Townsend. And he's talking about how Arsenal, in order to really catch City, we need a striker. So we get 2 goals. And by the way, Eddie has once again stepped in, scored a goal, and everyone's yelling for a striker. Listen, I want a world-class striker, but at what point are we going to start? Even myself, even the Andy Townsends, even the NBC group here. I don't know what's happening on the telly in the UK, Kev. He scored a goal again. He steps in, he scores a
Alan
goal. I
McCoy's.
know towards the end of the season it wasn't so great for him, but again, if he can get us through this phase while Jesus is injured, what is
Yeah,
wrong with
exactly.
this scenario, Super Kev? Talk me through it a little bit. The Halen
Well,
boys stepping in when we've spent 300 million, making magic happen.
well, Eddie doesn't get any praise. He doesn't get any praise. So he comes in when when we're kind of desperate. He comes in last season when we're desperate. Jesus is injured. He does well. People are melting down that Eddie's playing. Next minute he gets a goal. Then who else can we kind of blame? So you understand what I mean? Who
Mm-hmm.
else can we shift it on? Oh, let's have a go at Havertz or let's have a go at Eddie. No, we were cruising. I thought Eddie had a good game today.
I thought so
Played
too.
well, scored a goal. That's what your striker's job is. Got taken off. We changed it a little bit. And let's be honest, so the game should have been over. 2, 3, 4 should have been over. 3 or 4. But again, we concede cheap and we make life difficult for ourselves. This is something we've got to learn. But for all of the pre-season, what matters is today. And getting the W is the key. We got the W and Eddie scored the first goal. So leave Eddie alone. I'm not saying Eddie's the answer full time all season, but I've got to give props where props is due. Eddie deserves his props. He started well, scored a great goal, really helped us today. I thought his link-up play was very good as well. What more could you ask of Eddie?
I agree completely, exactly as you've said it. I'm not going to repeat it. And listen, the two Halen boys today
Oh,
delivered big time. And before we get to another player who I've just anointed as part of Haaland, and I think you know who I'm talking about, and some
yes.
of you joking about Kai. Remember when Zinchenko held his head and everyone was like, "Oh, Zinny's one of us already." Kai Havertz holds his head. He's like, "Oh, he's never seen goals like that. He's never." Stop. I'm telling you right now, I'm not having the Havertz bullying on this show. Not
Yeah,
until
I
Christmas, at
agree.
least. All right. I'm
I
not having
agree.
it.
Cut it out. It's
Zinchenko
the
did
first
this.
game of the season, man. Jeez.
I know. Zinchenko did this and
At
everyone fell in
Bournemouth.
love with him. Havertz has done it and everyone's kind of like taking the piss like he's never seen anything like it in his life. But Kev, maybe we haven't seen
The
anything
Champions
like
League
it.
winner.
The
The
Champions League
Champions League
winner.
winner. The guy who
Yeah.
scored the winner in the Champions League.
That guy, Kev.
Come on. Arsenal fans, come on, man. Come on, grow up. Grow up. Come on.
Exactly. So Kev, let's talk about the goal. Amazing. Saka in motion. Here he is, kids. Blink and you'll miss it. What a player.
Well,
What a
you
goal.
know what? So he, I thought Aina played him quite well today at
Hmm.
times.
In the first half,
But,
the first 20 minutes, I think he had him a little.
but you know what? The thing is with Saka, he's relentless. He keeps going at you, and he'll go outside, and then he'll go inside, and then when he finds a chink, well, he tries to exploit it big time. And did he exploit it? I mean, that finish was just so sweet. I mean, it took the roof off the Emirates. That finish. No wonder Kai Havertz is like that. He's like, whoa, that
Yeah.
is an unbelievable strike. 2-0, cruising. What a young player. I mean, Kai Havertz is coming to Arsenal, and he's probably these youngsters are surprising him.
Yeah. I like
These
it.
young players, because they're only they're still babies, although they're growing. They're growing up in front of our eyes
Exactly.
to do special things. I mean, I know you're going to mention him. Your guy on the left hand side.
Kev.
Oh God.
Man of the match. Man of the match
for
today?
Eddie, yeah, for Eddie's, he's right up there. It could easily be, any one of them two. Joint,
Um,
it could be. I mean,
these
that
two.
turn and pass in one motion, ridiculous.
that was very Bergkamp-esque, the turn and the pass. And by the way, once again, the little haters online. Did he mean that, Soph? Was it just a mistake and he got lucky? Shut the F up. Enjoy. Can you just take some joy out of some of this, please? We've got 37 of these to go in the league. Forget the cups. It's going to be long.
So, Sophie, do you know something? We're back. The league's back.
Guess who's back?
We're back. We have to deal with it all again. It's great, isn't it? It's great.
It's so great. Super Kev. And by the way, everyone's saying that Martinelli shouldn't have been subbed. Excuse me. He's valuable commodity. This guy plays like his heart's going to burst every single game. I have no problems with the subs, Kev. None. Trossard, maybe I would have bought on a little bit earlier. However,
not. Soph, do you know what, Soph? Here's the thing. We've got to trust the manager with this squad. He's got a squad. He's got to manage minutes. He's got to let players get certain games and other players rest. He's got to mix it all about. He really does have to. And you know what? We were cruising. We were cruising. So I don't see, he shouldn't have come off. Well, if he stays on and he gets injured, you know what they say then? So why didn't he take him off?
Exactly. And also these question marks. Gabriel had a knock. Gabriel was on the bench, couldn't start the game, but he brought him on when he needed to. Like, just everyone take a Xanax. Calm down. It's going to be all right. It's the first game. And look what's happening here. We don't know what's happening with Tierney. We don't know what's happening like behind the scenes. Arteta kind of teased everyone a little bit in the sense that what Kev and I have talked about, sometimes we may have to say goodbye to players that we don't want to leave the club. Is Tierney going to be one of those? There's 3 weeks left of this transfer window, so we don't know what's going on and we don't know what's happening. But look, last year you were crying for Tomiyasu at the end of the season because we didn't have him. Now he comes on, it's like, oh gosh, Tomiyasu, he's not mobile enough. Just relax. Relax. Kev says we were cruising, but we still have the same issue as last year, Super Kev. You're getting this a lot. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but again, it's that mentality, that switch off when we're cruising. That's the issue. That really is the issue. So again, yeah, we were cruising, but you give any team in the Premier League a chance to peg you back, especially at the Emirates, they're going to make life difficult for us.
Exactly. All right, you're listening right here to the Highbury Squad. It's our post-game show. Over 400 of you in live chat right now. We're going to be on air for just a few more minutes. Super Kev is going off to cover the Everton game, and I also am off to do some bits and bobs here in Leagues Cup, which you might be watching with Lionel Messi once again, absolutely frying everyone, Super Kev, and getting his team to the semi-finals. And by the way, a massive congratulations to our Lionesses who beat Colombia 2-1 to make it to the World Cup semi-final. It's going to be epic. Show coming to you this week with all of that, Kev. Whoa,
Arsenal striker Russo scores the winner. There you go.
What a player she is. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that season to kick in as well. Beautifully taken goal, great finish. And much like Eddie, nice, powerful shot on the ground there, Kev. Absolutely whacked it in the back of the net. Okay, Super Kev, what else do you want to kind of have the takeaway? I love this picture, by the way, from the Community Shield. It's kind of already started off like that. Manchester City cruised against Burnley. We made it a little tough for ourselves in the second half. We're going to get to see some of the other teams play again today. Mikel looks as zoned in as ever. We talked about how the Community Shield and winning that was just a massive boost for these guys. We've got a new goalkeeper on the way. We've got a team where he can mix it up now. What's your takeaway from game 1 of 38 this season?
Yeah. Look, you offer me 3 points to start with, I take it. You offer me virtually total domination, I take it. Again, if there's one little crease that needs to be ironed out, it's you never let your opponent get a chance. not an easy one. If they score a great goal, Soph, and put one in your top corner, great. But something like that where the guy gets to the byline and just sticks it across and the striker just comes in and taps it in. No. And you got proper defenders there. We've got to cut stuff like that out. But if we don't learn it, Soph, and remember I'm saying it today, first game, if we don't learn and cut it out, it's going to come back to bite us.
Especially against better teams. Especially against better teams, Super Kev. Can't afford to make these cheap mistakes. Absolutely not. Who was your man of the match, Kev?
My man of the match, it was a combination out of Martinelli and Saka, but I've got to give it to Saka for that goal. I thought Saka worked ever so hard second half as well, getting back. I mean, Martinelli, he was sensational first half. Not only attacking, but he must have took the ball off Serge Aurier's foot about 5 different times, coming back, just nipped it off his foot and started another attack. It was awesome. But I've got to give it to Saka for that wonder strike.
Aurier, sorry, I know. I'm sorry, he's an athlete, but he looked like he was carrying some extra summer pounds. Did not look lean, fit, and ready to go at all. All right, here's what's going to happen this week, boys and girls. Good morning, Goonworks. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. 400 in live chat. That means if every single one of you hits the like button, we get 400 right off the bat. For those coming in late, thank you so much. You can listen on replay. Here's what's happening. We're going to go off because we got a bunch of work to do. We wanted to jump on real quick and give you an instant reaction, especially as we have Super Kev in between games as well. We will be back on Monday Madness for an extended show, myself and Super Kev, and you guys will get to ask Super Kev questions from your first match observations, sensible ones though as well. So we'll get Kev's questions answered for you towards the end of the Monday Madness show. You're not going to want to miss that. Super Kev, off to see your toffees, hopefully.
Yeah, gonna watch Everton. When I get off here, I've got to click into the link and I've got to go online and watch it.
Okay.
So, yeah,
brilliant stuff.
I'm looking forward to
what's your leave? What's your what are you expecting to see like for the rest of the weekend? Premier League's back. We're going to learn a lot about these teams. Have Liverpool really strengthened? Do Chelsea look better under Pochettino? Are Tottenham going to just completely fall off the face of the planet without Harry Kane? We're going to get into a little bit more of that with Kev on Monday, but I'm going to let him have the last word here. Super Kev.
Well, look, we won the Community Shield last weekend. This weekend we won our first game. We were comfortable, but at the end it wasn't pretty. But we got the 3 points, which is all that matters. And yes, people say we need a striker. Eddie delivered, people. Give him his flowers, please. Give him his props. And no agendas. The team win, we move on. Well done to the team for winning. And get well soon, Jury and Timber, because that boy's some player. We're going to definitely need him moving forward, so definitely need him. So that's it from me, guys. I just be happy. We played second this weekend. We got 3 points in the back pocket. Sit back, relax, pop a cold beer or do whatever you're doing, cup of tea, whatever. And you know what? Enjoy the rest of the weekend and let's see some of the other teams sweat.
Definitely. Well said, Super Kev. We will see you kids on Monday live for Monday Madness. Check out the community and Twitter pages. And of course, enjoy the rest of your weekend. 3 points in the bag. And who cares about the ticket fiasco? Remember, there are a lot of harder things going on in this life. If you had to line up for a little bit, it's all right. The world will be realigned once again. At ease, everyone. See you later.
At ease. At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.